Good morning, good morning, good morning. It's a bright and sunshiny day. Hey, yeah. All we're doing today is listening to the Book of Numbers. But if you wanna hear certain scriptures, uh, um, well, passages, I guess a lot of people call them, certain passages, chapters, books, just tell me, and like I could probably work it in. If you're busy, you can't watch me at first. That's okay. Put it on um watch later list. Or what I do is if I'm busy at the moment, like let's say I'm singing to my dog at night, and I play 3 other videos for her. It soothes her down because she's used to it. I I play for a second, then it goes into my history, and then when I'm done putting the dog to bed, singing to her and everything, I go back to my history and I go watch them. Okay, why don't we get started? Our Father which art in heaven. I think we did that yesterday. Our Father in heaven, may your name be kept holy. May your kingdom come soon. May your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day. Give us. I'm sorry. Give. Let's start over. I had to do that yesterday with the passage I read at Bible study. I'm wait, what, what? So let's read that again. I had to start it 2 more times. All right, hold on. Okay, let's start again. Our Father in heaven, may your kingdom come soon. May your will be done as it is in heaven. Give us today the food we need, and forgive us our sins, as we have forgiven those who sin against us. And don't let us yield to temptation, but rescue us from the evil one. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen. Thank you, Lord, for another beautiful day on your beautiful earth. And thank you for allowing us to wake up today. And thank you for what you did for us in the past, present, and what you will do for us in the future. Thank you so much. I really do appreciate it. I have to add another friend to the cancer list. His name is Richie, also known as Big Money. He had to change his YouTube name to Dude One because YouTube thought it sounded gang related. And I think it's ridiculous, but yes. So Richie has cancer. The doctor said he will beat it because everything looks so good. So Jehovah, I'm asking you to continue, let it be good. Please let Richie's cancer just go away. Among the rest of the people I'm about to read off, let these people's cancers go away as well. Tate, who also has a heart condition. Um, Cindy Lee, Lisa, Shannon Doherty, King Charles, Princess Kate, Jen's friend Shannon, and Isabel Strahan. Please help them all with cancers, get all away, and give them physical and mental strength to get through it. And also help Kimberly with her journey to quit smoking. And she's probably pretty far into it now. It's probably hours now almost. Or 7 hours maybe. And please continue to heal her heart after the massive heart attack a week ago. And continue to help Celine Dion with her stiff person syndrome. Please give her some pain relief and give her mental and physical strength to get through every day. Jen, Tiffany, Christina, Robin, and Tiffany's son. I still can't remember his name. Please, both sons. Please help both of Tiffany's sons. The oldest one was diagnosed with schizophrenia. He is on disability, but he's waiting for his first check. So just give him mental and physical strength to get through every day. And please try to calm him down. And please help Jenny, Christina, Tiffany, Robin Taylor, Miss Diane, and Carol with their medical and mental needs. And continue to help Arnie, Vicky, family, and Carol and her mom with what they need each day. If they're having troubles and stuff. I don't know if I said Miss Diane and her daughters. Please help them as well. In the name of your Son, Jesus Christ, the Lord. Amen. You have a treat? Come here. How you doing? You good girl? You good. Yeah. Don't bark at night. I try to get her not to bark at night. Yeah. I gotta mute this for 1 second. I thought I had to sneeze, sorry. You do pretty girl, yeah. Oh, you pretty girl. Oh, she's gone. Okay. Yeah, and she had to have coffee. I'm not gonna lie. Sorry, Jehovah. Alright, Numbers, chapters 29 through 36.
On the first of the month, you should hold a holy convention. You must not do any hard work. It is a day on which you should sound the trumpet. You will offer as a burnt offering for a pleasing aroma to Jehovah 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound, and their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 of an ephah measure for the bull, 2/10 measures for the ram, and 1/10 measure for each male lamb of the 7 male lambs, and 1 young male goat, as a sin offering to make atonement for you. This is an additional burnt offering and its grain offering, and the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, together with their drink offerings, according to the regular procedure for them, as a pleasing aroma, an offering made by fire to Jehovah. And on the 10th of this 7th month, you should hold a holy convention, and you must afflict yourselves. You must not do any work. And you will present as a burnt offering to Jehovah, as a pleasing aroma, 1 young bull, 1 ram, and 7 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound. And as their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 measures for the bull, 2/10 measures for the 1 ram, a 10th measure respectively for each male lamb of the 7 male lambs, as well as 1 young goat as a sin offering, aside from the sin offering of atonement and the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, together with their drink offerings. And on the 15th day of the 7th month, you should hold a holy convention. You must not do any hard work, and you must celebrate a festival to Jehovah 7 days. And you will present as a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a pleasing aroma to Jehovah, 13 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound. And as their grain offering of fine flour mixed with oil, 3/10 measures for each bull of the 13 bulls, 2/10 for each ram of the 2 rams, and a 10th measure for each male lamb of the 14 male lambs, as well as 1 young goat as a sin offering, aside from the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. And on the 2nd day, 12 young bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound, and their grain offering and their drink offerings, for the bulls, the rams, and the male lambs, by their number according to the regular procedure. 1 young goat as a sin offering, aside from the regular burnt offering and its grain offering, together with their drink offerings. And on the 3rd day, 11 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound, and their grain offering and the drink offerings, for the bulls, the rams, and the male lambs by their number, according to the regular procedure, as well as 1 goat as a sin offering, aside from the regular burnt offering, and its grain offering, and its drink offering. And on the 4th day, 10 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound, grain offering and their drink offerings, for the bulls, the rams, and the male lambs by their number, according to the regular procedure, as well as 1 young goat, aside from the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. And on the 5th day, 9 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound, and their grain offering and their drink offerings, for the bulls, the rams, and the male lambs, by their number according to the regular procedure, as well as 1 goat as a sin offering, aside from the regular burnt offering and its grain offering and its drink offering. And on the 6th day, 8 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound, and their grain offering and their drink offerings, for the bulls, the rams, and the male lambs, by their number according to the regular procedure, as well as 1 goat as a sin offering, aside from the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offerings. And on the 7th day, 7 bulls, 2 rams, and 14 male lambs, each a year old, all of them sound, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bulls, the rams, and the male lambs by their number according to the regular procedure for them, as well as one goat as a sin offering, aside from the regular burnt offering, its grain offering, and its drink offering. On the 8th day, you should hold a solemn assembly. You should not do any hard work. You will present as a burnt offering, an offering made by fire as a pleasing aroma to Jehovah, one bull, one ram, and 7 male lambs each a year old, all of them sound, and their grain offering and their drink offerings for the bull, the ram, and the male lambs by their number, according to the regular procedure, as well as one goat as a sin offering, aside from the regular burnt offering and its grain offering and its drink offering. These you will offer to Jehovah at your seasonal festivals, in addition to your vow offerings and your voluntary offerings, as your burnt offerings and your grain offerings and your drink offerings and your communion sacrifices. Moses told the Israelites everything that Jehovah had commanded him. Chapter 30. Then Moses spoke to the heads of the tribes of Israel, saying, This is the word that Jehovah has commanded. If a man makes a vow to Jehovah, or swears an oath to impose on himself a vow of abstinence, he must not violate his word. He should do everything he vowed he would do. And if a woman makes a vow to Jehovah, or she imposes a vow of abstinence on herself when she is young and living in the house of her father, and her father hears her vow, or her abstinence vow that she has imposed on herself, and her father offers no objection, all her vows will stand, and every abstinence vow that she has imposed on herself will stand. But if her father forbids her when he hears that she has imposed vows or abstinence vows on herself, it will not stand. Jehovah will forgive her, because her father forbade her. However, if she should marry a husband while under her vow, or the rash promise that she has imposed on herself, and her husband hears of it and offers no objection on the day he hears of it, her vows or her abstinence vows that she has imposed on herself will stand. But if her husband forbids her on the day he hears of it, he may annul the vow or the rash promise that she imposed on herself, and Jehovah will forgive her. But if a widow or a divorced woman makes a vow, everything that she has imposed on herself will be binding on her. However, if a woman imposed the vow or the abstinence vow on herself while in the house of her husband, and her husband heard it and has not objected or disapproved, all her vows or any abstinence vow that she imposed on herself will stand. But if on the day he heard them, her husband completely annulled whatever vows or abstinence vow she swore to, they will not stand. Her husband annulled them, and Jehovah will forgive her. Regarding any vow or any oath involving an abstinence vow to practice self-denial, her husband should establish it, or her husband should annul it. But if her husband offers no objection at all from day to day, he also establishes all her vows, or all her abstinence vows that are upon her. He establishes them because he did not object on the day he heard her make them. But if he annuls them later, sometime after the day he heard them, he will bear the consequences of her guilt. These are the regulations that Jehovah commanded Moses relating to a husband and his wife, and relating to a father and his young daughter living in his house.
Oops, sorry.
Chapter 31. Jehovah then told Moses, Take vengeance for the Israelites on the Midianites. Afterward you will be gathered to your people. So Moses spoke to the people, saying, Equip men from among you for battle against Midian, and to execute Jehovah's vengeance on Midian. You should send 1,000 of each tribe of all the tribes of Israel into the army. So from the thousands of Israel, 1,000 were assigned from each tribe, 12,000 equipped for battle. Then Moses sent them out, 1,000 from each tribe to the army, along with Phinehas the son of Eleazar, the priest for the army, who had the holy utensils and the signal trumpets in his hand. They waged war against Midian, just as Jehovah had commanded Moses, and they killed every male. Along with the others slain, they killed the kings of Midian, namely Evi, Rekam, Zur, Hur, and Reba, the 5 kings of Midian. They also killed Balaam the son of Beor with the sword. But the Israelites carried off captive the women and children of Midian. They also plundered all their domestic animals, all their livestock, and all their possessions. And all their cities in which they had settled, and all their encampments they burned with fire. And they took all the spoil and all the plunder, both humans and animals. Then they brought the captives, the plunder, and the spoil to Moses and Eleazar the priest, and to the assembly of the Israelites, to the camp in the desert plains of Moab, near the Jordan, at Jericho. Then Moses and Eleazar the priest and all the chieftains of the assembly went out to meet them outside the camp. But Moses grew indignant at the appointed men of the combat forces, the chiefs of the thousands and the chiefs of the hundreds who were coming in from the military expedition. Moses said to them, "Have you preserved all the females alive? Look, they are the ones who by Balaam's word induced the Israelites to commit unfaithfulness toward Jehovah over the affair of Peor, so that the scourge came upon the assembly of Jehovah. Now you should kill every male among the children, and kill every woman who has had sexual relations with a man. But you may keep alive all the young girls who have not had sexual relations with a man. And you should camp outside the camp 7 days. Every one of you who has killed someone, and every one of you who has touched someone slain, should purify himself on the 3rd day and on the 7th day, you and your captives. And you should purify from sin every garment, every article of skin, everything made of goat hair, and every article of wood." Eleazar the priest then said to the men of the army who had gone into the battle,
"This is the statute of the law that Jehovah commanded Moses. Only the gold, the silver, the copper, the iron, the tin, and the lead, everything that can be processed with fire, you should pass through the fire, and it will be clean. However, it should also be purified by the water for cleansing. Everything that cannot be processed with fire, you should pass through the water. And you should wash your garments on the 7th day and be clean, and then you may come into the camp."
Jehovah then said this to Moses, "Take an inventory of the plunder, counting the captives, both of humans and animals. Do this together with Eleazar the priest and the heads of the paternal houses of the assembly. Divide what was plundered into 2 parts, to be shared between those in the army who took part in the battle and all the rest of the assembly. As a tax for Jehovah, you should take from the soldiers who went out into the battle 1 soul out of every 500, of the people, the herd, the donkeys, and the flock. You should take it from their half and give it to Eleazar the priest as Jehovah's contribution. From the half given to the Israelites, you should take 1 out of 50 of the people, the herd, the donkeys, the flock, and every sort of domestic animal, and give them to the Levites, who care for the responsibilities connected with people." So Moses and Eleazar the priest did just as Jehovah had commanded Moses. The spoils, the rest of the plunder that the people of the expedition had taken, amounted to 675,000 of the flock, 72,000 of the herd, and 61,000 donkeys. The women who had not had sexual relations with a man amounted to 32,000 women. The half that was the share of those who went out into the battle amounted to 337,500 of the flock. The tax for Jehovah from the flock amounted to 675. And there were 36,000 of the herd, and the tax on them for Jehovah was 72. And there were 30,500 donkeys, and the tax on them for Jehovah was 61. And there were 16,000 humans, and the tax on them for Jehovah was 32 persons. Then Moses gave the tax as Jehovah's contribution to Eleazar the priest, just as Jehovah had commanded Moses. From the half belonging to the Israelites, which Moses had divided off from the portion that belonged to the men who waged war, that half of the flock amounted to 337,500, and of the herd.
Hi, Carol. How are you today? I am good, thank you.
Flock amounted to 337,500, and of the herd 36,000, and of the donkeys 30,500, and of the people 16,000. Then Moses took from the half belonging to the Israelites 1 out of 50 of the people and of the animals, and gave them to the Levites, who cared for the responsibility of Jehovah's tabernacle, just as Jehovah had commanded Moses. Then the appointed men who were of the thousands of the army, the chiefs of the thousands and the chiefs of the hundreds, approached Moses, and they said to Moses,
Your servants have taken account of the men of war who are under our command, and not one has been reported missing from us.
So let us each present what he has found as Jehovah's offering: articles of gold, ankle chains, bracelets, signet rings, earrings, and other jewelry, in order to make atonement for ourselves before Jehovah.
So Moses and Eleazar the priest accepted the gold from them, all the jewelry. All the gold of the contribution that they made to Jehovah amounted to 16,750 shekels, from the chiefs of the thousands and the chiefs of the hundreds. The men of the army had each taken plunder for himself. Moses and Eleazar the priest accepted the gold from the chiefs of the thousands and of the hundreds, and brought it into the tent of as a reminder for the people of Israel before Jehovah. Chapter 32. Now the sons of Reuben and the sons of Gad had very large quantities of livestock, and they saw that the lands of Jazer and Gilead were a good region for livestock. So the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben approached Moses, Eleazar the priest, and the chieftains of the assembly, and said,
Ataroth, Dibon, Jazer, Nimrah, Heshbon, Elealeh, Sebam, Nebo, and Beon, the land that Jehovah defeated before the assembly of Israel, is a good land for livestock, and your servants have much livestock.
They continued,
If we have found favor in your eyes, let this be the land given to your servants as a possession. Do not make us cross the Jordan.
Then Moses said to the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben, Are your brothers to go to war while you yourselves keep dwelling here? Why should you discourage the people of Israel from crossing into the land and give them?
Sorry.
That is what your fathers did when I sent them from Kadesh Barnea to see the land. When they went up to the valley of Eshcol and saw the land, they discouraged the people of Israel from going into the land that Jehovah was to give them. Jehovah's anger blazed on that day, so that will not see the land of which I have sworn to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, because they have not followed me wholeheartedly, except Caleb, the son of Jephunneh, the son of Nun, because they have followed Jehovah wholeheartedly. So Jehovah's anger blazed against Israel, and he made them wander about in the wilderness for 40 years, until all the generation that was doing evil in the eyes of Jehovah came to its end. Now here, You have risen in the place of your fathers as a brood of sinful men who increased the burning anger of Jehovah against Israel. If you turn back from following him, he will certainly leave them again in the wilderness, and you will bring ruin to all this people. They later approached him and said,
Let us build here stone pens for our livestock and cities for our children. But we will continue ready for battle and will go before the Israelites until we have brought them to their place, while our children will dwell in the fortified cities, safe from the inhabitants of the land. We will not return to our houses until each of the Israelites has received his land as an inheritance. For we will not receive an inheritance with them on the other side of the Jordan and beyond, because we have received our inheritance on the east side of the Jordan.
Moses replied to them, If you will do this, take up arms before Jehovah for the war. And if every one of you takes up arms and crosses the Jordan before Jehovah, as he drives away his enemies from before him, until the land is subdued before Jehovah, afterward you may return and be free from guilt before Jehovah and Israel. Then this land will become your possession before Jehovah. But if you do not do this, you will have sinned against Jehovah. In that case, know that your sin will catch up with you. So you may build cities for your children and pens for your flocks, but you must do what you have promised. The sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben said this to Moses,
Your servants will do just as my Lord is commanding. Our children, our wives, our livestock, and all our domestic animals will stay there, in the cities of Gilead. But your servants will cross over, every man armed for battle to wage war before Jehovah, just as my Lord is speaking.
So Moses gave a command concerning them to Eleazar the priest, to Joshua the son of Nun, and to the heads of the paternal houses of the tribes of Israel. Moses said to them, If the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben cross over the Jordan with you, every man armed for the war before Jehovah, and the land is subdued before you, you will then give them the land of Gilead as a possession. But if they do not take up arms and cross over with you, they will then settle among you in the land of Canaan. To this the sons of Gad and the sons of Reuben answered,
What Jehovah has spoken to your servants is what we will do. We will take up arms and cross over before Jehovah to the land of Canaan. But the possession we are to inherit will be on this side of the Jordan.
So Moses gave to them, to the sons of Gad, the sons of Reuben, and to the half-tribe of Manasseh, the son of Joseph, the kingdom of Sihon, the king of the Amorites, and the kingdom of Og, the king of Bashan, the land belonging to its cities in those territories, and the cities of the surrounding land. And the sons of Gad built Dibon, Ataroth, Aroah, Atroth-Shophan, Jazer, Jogbehah, Beth Nimrah, and Beth Haran, fortified cities, and they built stone pens for the flocks. And the sons of Reuben built Heshbon, Elealeh, Kiriathaim, Nebo, and Baal-meon, their names being changed, and Sibmah, and they began to rename the cities that they rebuilt. The sons of Machir, the son of Manasseh, marched against Gilead and captured it, and drove away the Amorites who were in it. So Moses gave Gilead to Machir, the son of Manasseh, and he began dwelling in it. And Jair, the son of Manasseh, marched against them and captured their tent villages, and he began to call them Havoth Jair. And Nobah marched against and captured Kenath and its dependent towns, and he began to call it Nobah by his own name. Chapter 33. These were the stages of the journey of the people of Israel when they went out of the land of Egypt by their companies under the direction of Moses and Aaron. Moses kept recording the departure places by the stages of their journey at the order of Jehovah, And these were their stages from one departure place to another. They departed from Ramesses in the first month on the 15th day of the month. On the very day after the Passover, the Israelites went out with confidence before the eyes of all the Egyptians. Meanwhile, the Egyptians were burying all the firstborn whom Jehovah had struck down among them, for Jehovah had executed judgments on their gods. So the Israelites departed from Ramesses and camped at Succoth. Then they departed from Succoth and camped at Etham, which is on the edge of the wilderness. Next they departed from Etham and turned back toward Pi-hahiroth, which is in view of Baal-zephon, and they camped before Migdol. After that they departed from Pi-hahiroth and passed through the midst of the sea to the wilderness, and kept marching a 3-day journey in the wilderness of Etham and camped at Meirah. Then they departed from Meirah and came to Elim. Now in Elim there were 12 springs of water and 70 palm trees, so they camped there. Next they departed from Elim and camped by the Red Sea. After that they departed from the Red Sea and camped in the wilderness of Sin. Then they departed from the wilderness of Sin and camped at Dophkah. Later they departed from Dophkah and camped at Ailush. They next departed from Ailush and camped at Rephidim, where there was no water for the people to drink. After that they departed from Rephidim and camped in the wilderness of Sinai. They departed from the wilderness of Sinai and camped at Kibroth-hattaavah. Then they departed from Kibroth-hattaavah and camped at Hazeroth. After that they departed from Hazeroth and camped at Rithmah. Next they departed from Rithmah and camped at Rimmon-Perez. Then they departed from Rimmon-Perez and camped at Libnah. They departed from Libnah and camped at Rissah. Next they departed from Rissah and camped at Keelatha. Then they departed from Keelatha and camped at Mount Shepha. After that they departed from Mount Shepha and camped at Harada. Then they departed from Harada and camped at Makheloth. Next they departed from Makheloth and camped at Tahath. After that they departed from Tahath and camped at Terah. Then they departed from Terah and camped at Mithkah. Later they departed from Mithkah and camped at Hashmonah. Next they departed from Hashmonah
I'm sorry,
and
guys.
camped at Moseroth.
I'm just listening to it,
Then they
you know.
departed from Moseroth and camped at Bene-Jaakan. And they departed from Bene-Jaakan and camped at Horhag-Gidgad. Next they departed from Horhag-Gidgad and camped at Jotbathah. Later they departed from Jotbathah and camped at Abrona. Then they departed from Abrona and camped at Ezion-Geber. After that they departed from Ezion-Geber and camped in the wilderness of Zin, that is, Kadesh. Later they departed from Kadesh and camped at Mount Hor, on the frontier of the land of Edom. And Aaron the priest went up into Mount Hor at the order of Jehovah and died there, in the 40th year after the Israelites left the land of Egypt, in the 5th month, on the 1st of the month. Aaron was 123 years old at his death on Mount Hor. Now the king of Arad, the Canaanite who was dwelling in the Negeb in the land of Canaan, heard about the coming of the Israelites. In time they departed from Mount Hor and camped at Zalmonah. After that they departed from Zalmonah and camped at Punon. Next they departed from Punon and camped at Oboth. Then they departed from Oboth and camped at Abarim, on the border of Moab. Later they departed from Ayim and camped at Dibon-Gad. After that they departed from Dibon-Gad and camped at Almon-Diblathaim. Then they departed from Almon-Diblathaim and camped in the mountains of Abarim before Nebo. Finally they departed from the mountains of Abarim and camped on the desert plains of Moab, by the Jordan at Jericho. They continued camping along the Jordan from Beth Jeshimoth as far as Abel Shittim on the desert plains of Moab. Jehovah spoke to Moses on the desert plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, "Speak to the Israelites and tell them, you are crossing the Jordan into the land of Canaan. You must drive away all the inhabitants of the land from before you, and destroy all their carvings of stone and all their metal statues, and you should demolish all their sacred high places. And you will take possession of the land and dwell in it, because I will certainly give you the land as a possession. You must apportion the land by lot as a possession among your families. To the larger group, you should increase his inheritance, and to the smaller group, you should reduce his inheritance. Everyone's inheritance will be where his lot falls. You will receive your property as an inheritance by the tribes of your fathers. If, though, you do not drive the inhabitants of the land away from before you, those whom you allow to remain will be as irritants in your eyes and thorns in your sides, and they will harass you in the land where you will dwell. And I will do to you what I intended to do to them." Chapter 30 spoke further to Moses, saying, "Give these instructions to the Israelites. When you go into the land of Canaan, this is the land that will fall to you as an inheritance, the land of Canaan, according to its boundaries. Your southern border will extend from the wilderness of Zin alongside Edom, and your south boundary on the east will be from the extremity of the Salt Sea. Your boundary will change direction to pass south of the ascent of Akrabim and continue to Zin, and its end will be south of Kadesh Barnea. Then it will extend to Hazar Adar and continue to Asman. The boundary will change direction at Asman to the Wadi of Egypt, and its end will be at the sea. Your western boundary will be the Great Sea and the coast. This will become your western boundary. Now this will be your northern boundary. From the Great Sea, you will mark your boundary out to Mount Hor. From Mount Hor, you will mark out the boundary to Lebo Hamath, and the end of the boundary will be at Zedad. And the boundary will extend to Ziphron, and its end will be Hazar Enan. This will become your northern boundary. Then you should mark as your boundary on the east from Hazar Enan to Shepham. The boundary will extend from Shepham to Riblah on the east of Ain, and the border will go down and cross the eastern slope of the Sea of Kinnereth. The border will extend to the Jordan, and its end will be the Salt Sea. This will be your land and the boundaries surrounding it." So Moses instructed the Israelites, saying, "This is the land that you will apportion as your possession by lot, just as Jehovah has commanded to give to the 9.5 tribes. For the tribe of the Reubenites by their paternal house, the tribe of the Gadites by their paternal house, and the half-tribe of Manasseh have already taken their inheritance. The 2.5 tribes have already taken their inheritance east of the region of the Jordan by Jericho, toward the sun rising." Jehovah spoke further to Moses, saying, "These are the names of the men who will divide the land for you to possess: Eleazar the priest and Joshua the son of Nun. And you will take one chieftain out of each tribe to divide the land as your inheritance. These are the names of the men: of the tribe of Judah, Caleb the son of Jephunneh; of the tribe of the sons of Simeon, Shemuel the son of Ammihud; of the tribe of Benjamin, Elidad the son of Kislon; of the tribe of the sons of Dan, a chieftain, Bacchai the son of Joglai; of the sons of Joseph, from the tribe of the sons of Manasseh, a chieftain, the son of Ephod; from the tribe of the sons of Ephraim, a chieftain, Kemuel the son of Shiftan; of the tribe of the sons of Zebulun, a chieftain, Elizaphan the son of Panak; of the tribe of the sons of Issachar, a chieftain, Paltiel the son of Azan;
I remember
of
Issachar.
the tribe of the sons of Asher, A chieftain, Ahihud, the son of Shilomai. Of the tribe of the sons of Naphtali, a chieftain, Pedaiel, the son of Ammihud. These are the ones whom Jehovah commanded to distribute the land to the Israelites in the land of Canaan. Chapter 35. Jehovah went on to speak to Moses on the desert plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho, saying, Instruct the Israelites. They are to give the Levites cities to inhabit out of the inheritance they will possess, and they should give the Levites the pastures around the cities. They will inhabit the cities, and the pastures will be for their livestock, their goods, and all their other animals. The pastures of the cities that you will give the Levites will extend for 1,000 cubits from the wall all around the city. You should measure outside the city 2,000 cubits on the east side, 2,000 cubits on the south side, 2,000 cubits on the west side, and 2,000 cubits on the north side, with the city in the middle. These will be the pastures of their cities. The cities that you will give to the Levites will be 6 cities of refuge, which you will give for the manslayer to flee to, as well as 42 other cities. You are to give to the Levites a total of 48 cities, together with their pastures. The cities you give them will be from the possession of the Israelites. From the larger group, you will take many, and from the smaller group, you will take few. Each group will give cities to the Levites in proportion to the inheritance that it receives. Jehovah continued to speak to Moses, saying, Speak to the Israelites and tell them, You are crossing the Jordan to the land of Canaan. You should choose cities convenient for yourselves to serve as cities of refuge, where the manslayer who unintentionally kills someone should flee. These cities will serve as a refuge for you from the blood avenger, so that the manslayer will not die until he stands trial before the assembly. The 6 cities of refuge that you provide will serve this purpose. You will provide 3 cities on this side of the Jordan and 3 cities in the land of Canaan to serve as cities of refuge. These 6 cities will serve as a refuge for the Israelites, for the foreign resident, and for the settler among them, for anyone to flee there who unintentionally kills someone. But if he struck him with an iron instrument and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer should be put to death without fail. And if he struck him with a stone that could cause death, and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer should be put to death without fail. And if he struck him with a wooden instrument that could cause death, and he dies, he is a murderer. The murderer should be put to death without fail. The avenger of blood is the one who will put the murderer to death. When he encounters him, he himself will put him to death. If death resulted because he pushed him out of hatred, or threw something at him with malicious intent, or out of hatred he struck him with his hand and he died, the one who struck him will be put to death without fail. He is a murderer. The avenger of blood will put the murderer to death when he encounters him. But if it was unexpectedly, and not out of hatred, that he pushed him or threw any article at him without malicious intent, or if he did not see him and caused a stone to fall on him, and he was not an enemy or seeking his injury, and the person died, the assembly should then judge between the one who struck him and the avenger of blood, in harmony with these judgments. The assembly should then save the manslayer from the hand of the avenger of blood, and return him to his city of refuge, to which he had fled, and he must dwell in it until the who was anointed with the holy oil. But if the manslayer goes out of the boundary of his city of refuge to which he fled, and the avenger of blood finds him outside the boundary of his city of refuge, and slays the manslayer, he has no blood guilt. For he must dwell in his city of refuge until the high priest's death. But after the high priest's death, the manslayer may return to the land that he owns. These things will serve for you as a statute for judgment throughout your generations in all your dwelling places. Whoever kills a person should be put to death as a murderer on the testimony of witnesses. But no one will be put to death on the testimony of just one witness. You must take no ransom for the life of a murderer who is deserving to die, for he should be put to death without fail. And you must not take a ransom for one who has fled to his city of refuge, allowing him to resume dwelling in his land before the death of the high priest. You must not pollute the land in which you live, for blood pollutes the land, and there may be no atonement for the blood that has been spilled on the land, except by the blood of the one who spilled it. You must not defile the land in which you dwell, in which I am residing, for I, Jehovah, am residing in the midst of the people of Israel.
Mm-hmm.
Chapter 36. The family heads of the descendants of Gilead, the son of Machir, the son of Manasseh, of the families of the sons of Joseph, approached and spoke before Moses and the chieftains, the family heads of the Israelites. They said,
Jehovah commanded my Lord to distribute the land by lot as an inheritance to the Israelites. And my Lord was commanded by Jehovah, if they marry men from another Israelite tribe, the women's inheritance will also be withdrawn from the inheritance of our fathers, and which they would then belong, so that it would be withdrawn from the lot of our inheritance. Now when the Jubilee takes place for the people of Israel, the women's inheritance will also be added to the inheritance of the tribe to which they then belong, so that their inheritance would be withdrawn from the inheritance of the tribe of our fathers.
Then Moses commanded the Israelites at the order of Jehovah. What the tribe of the sons of Joseph is saying is correct. This is the word that Jehovah has commanded for the daughters of Zelophehad. They may marry whomever they want. They should marry someone from a family of the tribe of their father. No inheritance of the Israelites should circulate from tribe to tribe, for the Israelites should hold on to the inheritance of the tribe of their forefathers. And every daughter who possesses an inheritance among the tribes of Israel should become a wife of a descendant of her father's tribe, so that the Israelites may keep possession of the inheritance of their forefathers. No inheritance should circulate from one tribe to another tribe, for the tribes of Israel should hold on to their own inheritance. The daughters of Zelophehad, as Jehovah had commanded Moses. So Mahlah, Tirzah, Hoglah, Milcah, and Noah, the daughters of Zelophehad, married the sons of their father's brothers. They became wives of men from the families of Manasseh the son of Joseph, so that their inheritance remained in the tribe of their father's family. These are the commandments and the judicial decisions that Jehovah gave to the Israelites through Moses on the desert plains of Moab by the Jordan at Jericho.
Wow. So that is it for today. But first let's go to Jeremiah. Jeremiah was the blue frog. 25, 20. No, okay. In all their mixed populations, all the kings of the land of Uz, all the kings of the land of the Philistines, Ashkelon, Gaza, Ekron, and those remaining of Ashdod. Let's read on. Edom, Moab, and the Amorites. All the kings of Tyre, all the kings of Shidon, and the kings of the islands in the sea. Dedan, Tema, Buzz, and all those with hair clipped at the temples, all the kings of the Arabians, and all the kings of the mixed populations who reside in the wilderness, all the kings of Zemarai, all the kings of Elam, and all the kings of the Medes, all the kings of the north, near and far, one after the other, and all the other kingdoms of the earth that are on the surface of the ground, and the kings of Shishak will drink after them. I had to get to the point. Alright, Carol, now when you're picking your verses, see if it's part of a story. You know what I mean? But you did really good. You're doing good. You're doing very good. So I will see you guys later on for. I might just do. I don't even know what I'm doing today. I really don't. I might be diamond painting. So I will see that later. Love, don't judge. Peace out.